Hi, I'm Mirella Guidlin and I'm the Visitor Information Centre Coordinator, and I've been with the Visitor Information Centre for 11 years. So when I first started at the Visitor Information Centre, I was full-time based on the front counter, so I was the Assistant Tourist Officer. And in the last 3.5 years, I've progressed to the Visitor Information Centre Coordinator, which also I am also the coordinator of the Citrus Sculptures and the Griffith Festival of Gardens.
Hi, my name is Greg Lawrence. I'm the Manager of Tourism and Economic Development for the Griffith City Council. I've been here almost 2 years now and loving it. I was involved with Denilton Council. I was the Manager of Tourism and Economic Development over there for just on 2.5 years as well before coming here. So passionate about tourism, and I suppose I've been in tourism all my life, so and I see tourism as a way forward for the future. I think that's a great question. The role of the VIC Centre has certainly changed and is changing, as is everything happening in our world, becoming smaller with the technology that's coming around. I see we've gone past the days of where we just hand out brochures and smile and pat them on the back and send them on their merry way. It's more than that, and it has to be more than that. We are really the hub of any region. We can make or break a decision. We can influence someone to stay. We can influence, and it's not just about tourism as well, it's about economic development. They're all tied up in one. So I see from my point of view, I see the vision going forward that visitor centres will become a lot more professional. They will obviously be knowledgeable about the area, but where we're seeing things for our opportunity is that we're going to concentrate on events, conferences and things like that, so we can actually grab these events, grow them. As we know, recently we had 900 CWA ladies come to town. They have been our best ambassadors. I could spend $1 million telling you why you should come to Griffith, but I could have 10 CWA ladies spruiking what Griffith did for them, and that's priceless in my opinion, and that's the way forward.
So our customers that come in the door on a daily basis, they come in, and I guess a lot of them just think they come in and they'll grab a brochure, but it is just more than that. It's really creating that relationship with our customers, with our visitors, and showing them, giving them a true experience of Griffith. And they often walk away. They'll come in and possibly only intending on passing through or spending one night. And we love it when they say, oh well, actually, you know what, I'm going to stay an extra night, or I'm going to stay a night, when they weren't initially going to be doing that, because they realise we've shown them, we've given them that experience, and we've shown them that there's a lot more to do and see than they thought. Yes, we certainly have a big influence, and it's building that relationship with our customers and sort of getting to know what they want to do or what their interests are, and really building on that and saying, oh well, then we've got a great, if they're into the arts, we've got some great galleries here, or if they're into the gourmet foods, we've got some great foods and gourmet little food houses here, or bird watching, so it's really finding out what their interests are and going from there.
And if I could jump in, I think it's also giving them the total experience in as much that we're here to promote our town and our city or our hamlet where we're operating from, but we've got to also remember we need, and this is the professional that comes through from Visitor Information Centre staff, we put ourselves in the place of who's coming to the front door. We don't just say, oh, we're going to hang on and we've got to not talk about anything but Griffith. We know we've got Altina Wildlife Park. Where are you heading to? Which direction are you going to? Oh, if you go here, turn left, there's a great little coffee shop down here, or there's a lovely little water hole that you can go into. So again, it's about building that relationship, building that experience, and I'm very passionate about that. It's when you go out to do something, it should be an experience. I think that's the minimum expectation. When they go home, again, it's about making sure that everyone who comes in here, and that's the secret of our success, is that they walk out here as a total ambassador, and I can't buy that money in my advertising budget. The strategies, I think, is understanding that the market is changing. We've looked at, we're pretty progressive around here. I think one of the key strategies that we've put in place is making sure that we have a great team. You can have one person who's the shining light, but if everyone else is not playing out of the same hymn book, it makes it pretty hard. But so if you've got a great team, a good team, and one of the strategies we put in place is by having regular updates. We're talking all the time, of course, as you do in this business, but we like to have monthly updates. I've put in place with Morella a weekly update now, because with my role being across a lot of issues, I tend to be out and about a lot, so therefore I'm trying to make sure that Morella's up to date. Then she can then pass that information on to the rest of the team. And also, even though I spent my whole life in tourism, I'm not naive enough to think that it's all about me. I value when Morella can say, oh, by the way, if you do this, this could happen. So it's that two-way conversation that's happening. And the other strategy, of course, is working with our other visitor information centres. I think again, it's making sure that we give the experience to the customer, and picking up ideas that other visitor information centres do. Working with Destination New South Wales, which I think is fabulous, because they are the power horse at the end of the day. And simple things like working with Riverina Regional Tourism, our local RTO, which is made up of 17 councils. So if we collectively work together, we've got a better outcome.
And also building our relationships with our local operators, like building our familials, our local familials that our staff here, our team here at the VIC do, you know, going out there and seeing what they do, and just putting ourselves in their face, and, you know, showing them that we really do care, and we are really passionate about our town, and we've started these tourism networking nights, you know, so trying to get everybody together, and you know, and talking about what we're doing, what's coming up, what events are coming up, and reminding everyone, you know, we also have an ongoing events calendar that goes online, and we also print monthly publications, I should say. And yeah, so it's just showing them what we do, and building those relationships with our local operators.
I would like to think it's joined together, because the community is the local strategy. You can't draw a line and say this is one person. It's about making sure that people really understand the value of what that I-sign is all about, and what we actually provide here. It's not just about providing the brochure. It really is becoming the hub, the centre of excellence for Griffith, that is funded by council, and we're always thankful for that. But you know, tourism is a major economic driver, and the best way forward to drive anything is, you know, in a perfect world, it'd be lovely to have them all on board, understanding what we do. But if we can get 3 or 4 main players who embrace what we're doing, the rest will suddenly think, well, we should maybe come to these meetings. It's not all about me, or it's not about competition or sharing secrets. It's about nothing wrong in saying, well, but guess what? We're 20% down this week. Holy crap, what happened? If there's a line and we suddenly see a trend happening, well, then we can address it. I don't need to know whether a restaurant made $50,000 or $5,000, but we want to make sure that if there are trends that we've missed, and the only way to understand that is by collectively chatting about those sort of things. So we better move. Is there a new way of doing things? Right, let's get on with it. Well, I think it's part of my vision for growing Griffith is part of which is part of my role, and part of the Visitor Information Centre role is to when people come here, but it's making sure that we've got to get them here first. We've got to give them a reason to come here, and Griffith is a fantastic centre. But we've also got to be politically astute enough and not worry about the fact that we've got to understand what is the perception of Griffith outside the region. We love it. We know what's here. We know Banner Avenue. We know the great pizzas. We know this wonderful stuff that's around here. But someone in Martin Place or King's Cross or the Blue Mountains, they might have no idea, or may have a simple perception. So we've got to get that idea out there. And I'm very passionate about, and we've been working slowly on, and you'll probably see in some of these shots here, is getting our branding right. So we've come up with My Griffith is Your Griffith too. So My Griffith, Your Griffith. So we're trying to be welcoming, engaging, but having a simple tagline, and then we can drop anything in the middle of that, so we can talk about whether it's a conference. So there's that lovely consistency going out. The My Griffith branding has been, I think, reasonably well accepted by the community, and locals in particular. How we get, it's only been in inception 12 months now, so it's still early days, and we're still getting our heads around it ourselves, but it's like anything, if you're consistent, people understand, and as long as you can articulate why you're doing something, and that's what we have our tourism committee meetings, and so we articulate the reason behind this, We also make sure that we have consistency, so all our advertising, in fact we recently had a major revamp of our website, and we've incorporated that branding into our website, so we're not being dysfunctional. We have a brand here and a brand there. We're sticking to this one and then working forward with that. Council has been, in particular Griffith, Council has been very supportive of supporting the Visitor Information Centre. I mean, it's very easy to, if you're trying to save money, there's $400,000, $500,000, quick, just get rid of it, it's straight to the bottom line. I think Council, particularly here in Griffith, Council realises that there are a number of services that need to be provided, and of course, and we must also never forget that that the VIC centres fulfil a number of roles. One is certainly for the visitor coming to town. There's many locals that come in here. Like at Christmas time, we had a lot, because of our being the food bowl of the Riverina. We have a lovely arrangement of local produce. So we had a lot of visitors, a lot of locals coming in, buying produce to send as presents. Again, reminding the recipient of the value of what this area is. And also, Council realises that the service they provide. If we have an event, we all know we have either floods or fires. And that brand, that iSign, is so well recognised. Doesn't matter whether you speak the Queen's English or some other tongue, that's the place I can go and get my information from. Is that road closed? Where's that fire? And Griffith unfortunately went through some major flooding, and I think that's proved the test of time. That's another opportunity for visitor information centres. If you're thinking about how we're going to grow the visitor information centre, the fact that we're going through some change, we get a lot of people who come to town who relocate, teachers, new office managers, various people coming to town. They know that the information, if they're looking for information, this is one good spot, apart from talking to locals in the local hotels or the restaurants, but this is one spot where they can suddenly get all that information. And we provide a welcome kit, which is not just purely focused on tourism. It's where's the real estate, where's the chemist shops, all the basic necessities. Yeah, we also have a lot of investors because Griffith is a strong city and growing. And of course, part of my role is to encourage economic development through investment. And we have investors who have popped in here and have picked up information because they're doing their research, their due diligence. They can do so much on the website, but there's nothing like, if you're going to invest $1 million or $100 million, you really want to come in and have a good look around and see. And nothing better than come and talk to the ladies here at the information and get the good oil on what's happening in your region.
So with events in our town, we're very proactive, in particular with our Festival of Gardens and Citrus Sculptures. But we not only coordinate with the backbone to these major events, but we also provide itineraries, full blown itineraries, from start to end for all the coach groups that come to town, which is something that we're certainly commended on all the time. We book everything for them. We arrange their volunteer tour guides and their, everything is done for them. So for that tour operator, they'll just ring us and say, this is what I want to do, this is how many days I'm going to be here. Can you put something together for us? We put itineraries together for them, send it back, book it all in. They get here, their tickets, everything. We arrange the payments of tickets and all sorts of things. So that's sort of a bit of the background. We had 25 coach groups come to town in 2014 for our Festival of Gardens and the Citrus Sculptures. But it's also being out there in the community, like we held the Inland Tourism Awards dinner last year in July. And it's, getting out there and showing not only visitors but locals what we're doing, when we put up the citrus sculptures, there's over 700 volunteers, local community members, and having the team from the VIC out there and on the ground and showing them what we do and really being involved, getting them involved. Even just seeing how the volunteer numbers have grown. The last couple of years we've had over 700 volunteers out there on the Sunday putting up these citrus sculptures at 6:30 in the morning, from school children right through to the probus groups and, scouts and, business houses, like you name it, they're out there. And it's such a great community event, something that we can all be proud of. but yeah, there's certainly lots of opportunity for events. Like we helped the CWA ladies when they hosted the state conference here in May, and it's, you know, you get great satisfaction out of it as well. But you know, like Greg said, those people that come to town, they become ambassadors for us. They go back and they'll tell Joe Blow to, you know, oh, you should go to Griffith, you know. But yeah, there's certainly we've got some great, you know, some ideas to really grow events in Griffith. Conferences, you know, as well. We have a lot of conferences that come to town, and we're always in the background helping them with, you know, arranging partners tours or and just giving them a little bit of inside information on things that they may not have known about, and experiences they might do when they come here when they possibly wouldn't have planned on doing those other things. But we give them that experience, and which allows them to stay for an extra day or you know, or two.
Yeah, visitor information centres are not about the numbers that come through the door. We know in some places that it's in decline, and it can vary depending on what's happening throughout the year or the years as you go through the numbers. There are a lot of people who come who have already got the information. They go and do other things, and I think the key to success is not only can we service the people who come and ask us some questions and provide them with the answers and encourage them to stay and also go out and explore the region where they base themselves here or elsewhere, but it's also making sure that we engage with our local community, and that can be our retailers, stakeholders, and not just tourism operators as well, because of course, you know, we that work in the tourism game know that a lot of people out there do not share the same value of what tourism is all about. Which is a shame, because I keep harping on the fact that tourism is an economic driver. It's no different to a plumber or electrician. We just have a warm and fuzzy feel about, we stay in a motel, eat some lovely food, and this is what people do. But you know, when the visitor comes to our region, they spend money, and therefore by us engaging with our local retailers and shopkeepers, etc., they are a mini VIC centre in many ways. You know, we want to. There's nothing worse than having a cowboy out there who doesn't want to open, doesn't want to engage, doesn't want to talk to you, and is almost saying, "Well, oh, gee, do you really want to take my money?" And they go away. And we know, we certainly know through experience and market research has shown us that you take the grey nomads for argument's sake, they will sit around campfires. They will know where the best fuel is. They'll know where the worst place for this. Don't go there. And it's no different to how many times have all of us gone and sat in a restaurant and had good service or bad service? And I tell you what, we tend to talk more about the ones that then we say, well, let's not go into that place. So, and I think that also helps to explain to them the value of tourism in a sort of a backhanded, indirect way. It's you know, the fact that it's more than, you know, the visitor comes for that experience. Yes, they're going to stay in a motel or a caravan park or visiting family and friends. They're going to eat. They're going to want to drink. But you know what? They're going to want to spend some money somewhere. When they're spending that money, they're in a happy-go-lucky mood. So take it off them as nicely as possible. Give them that wonderful experience. And when they leave town, they come out and say, "Wow, well, not from the visitor centre all the way through to X, Y, Z. Didn't we have a great time here in Griffith and in the region?" The future for Visitors Information Centre, I think, is there as long as people embrace the fact that the change is coming. And I'm not suggesting that we go to these. I think there's been some suggestion that we have, you know, little pop-up electronic stores. There will still be people. There will be a lot of people who want to come in and will need to get information more. So I defy even the best website to give the information that you want and everything that you possibly conceive. It's impossible, I think, without spending an awful lot of money on that. And then you've got to update it every 5 minutes in any case. The number of shops that change hands, close, or the opening hours change, you won't get that all the time unless someone's been really diligent. So that's the opportunity. But I think the future for information centres is also the fact, understanding that change is coming. There will still be those who want to get a brochure, want to get directions, or want to know about this, that and the other. But it's then take it to the next step where we will grow our events, our conferencing and sporting opportunities to bring those people to town. And you can't just bring those people to town by having a website. You got to. If I'm bringing 900 people to town, I want to talk to someone. If I'm bringing 50 people to town, I want to talk to. Yes, you can talk to the local RSL club or something like that, but you still need to have someone who's going to coordinate it all for you and know you've got this one, almost like I look at the visitor centres. We're almost a one-stop shop. We've got to know everything It's almost been like in a confessional or a doctor's surgery. We've got to be everything to everyone and still smile, because and how difficult is it? Oh, Mr. Lawrence, oh, gee, I just saw your credit card. We lose sight of those wonderful little simple tricks that can make or break a person's day. So I think the future for visitor centres is enormous, but it's going to be in a slightly different format. It's going to have to embrace the changes coming through, but find ways to, and events and conferences and that will work for us here in our region, but in other regions you'll have to find whatever's the little niche that's going to set you apart. It may be a joint venture with someone, I don't know. So each area has to, there's no one size fits all. You've got to really analyse, but I know from our point of view, given the fact that Griffith is on a growth mode, there are lots of wonderful opportunities happening here in our city, that we will continue to grow, and therefore what we need to do is, by growth, we need to bring more and more people to, and we can do that through our events and conferencing and sporting opportunities.
Creating more experiences. So in developing product here in Griffith, in the IC, I guess agritourism has been a big, there's been a big push with agritourism, and that's where we've really, honed in on, and it's always been there, but we're really trying to get it out there even bigger and better. So, when we're booking itineraries and things or putting together itineraries for coach groups, there'll often be, maybe 2 or even 3 farm tours that they'll go and do, and it might be, a rice farm on one day, a citrus farm on the other, and maybe a winery tour, But it's, so certainly we've grown our product with, simply, with some of the farmers that are out there that are willing to do tours. To a local, it might just be, why would you want to go out there and do a farm tour? But for those that are coming to the region as a visitor, that's where we can really grow our product with agritourism. And then, of course, they go and do the farm tours, and then they'll go that night and to one of our lovely restaurants and actually eat the food, and then go to a cellar door the next day and taste the wine. So it's creating that experience. So joining the dots. So you've got the farm tours, then you've got our restaurants, you've got our wineries, and of course our great shopping as well. We've got some great little boutiques out there. But there's always certainly room to. We're always looking at ways to grow our product, and engaging with our locals again. Engaging with our locals. They may not necessarily be tour operators, but they can become a tour operator because of the experience that they can provide.
Part of my role in economic development, of course, we have a number of wonderful buildings. We've got the Penfolds building that's just behind us here, that has a lot of significant history, so trying to find a tenant, and we know that boutique beer and cider is starting to kick along, so looking for that little niche opportunities where you can, again, it's another reason to come and visit our region, and of course when they come to visit Griffith, they'll then go off and see Leeton or Naranda and other places. So that's part of the product development. We can't sit still. People are looking for their experience, and the world is their oyster on their phone. So they don't have to physically go travel anywhere. They can just while they're driving, they can be Googling at the same time. Most people have at least a phone and an iPad in their car, and certainly kids will have it. So you'll know what makes this town a little bit different. So we've always got to be on our mettle, looking for new opportunities. And through Riverina Regional Tourism, which I'm also chairman of, we've engaged through with Destination New South Wales to build on some product development for the Riverina, and I think we've got up to at least 4 potential businesses. Now these take time, but we've got 4 potential businesses that could suddenly eventuate a lot quicker because of the involvement that we've had by showcasing them the tourism opportunities, not just the physical return on their investment, but how to go about doing it if you're going to be involved in the tourism game. So I think there's a need to really look at that you've got to have opportunities, otherwise people won't come. There's a lot of back of house in relation to what goes on in the business information. I'll let Morello jump in a minute, but it's not just about the building. And tourism or business is about the people in any case. It's not a building. This is a wonderful building, got a lovely plane outside, it's unique, but it's more than that. But with technology changing now, and I'm very passionate about collecting as much data as possible. I have a very simple philosophy in life. If you can tell me in 3 pages what someone else can tell me in 50, give me 3 pages anytime, and preferably chuck in 1 or 2 graphs so I can see a trend line and I'm with you straight away. So keep it simple, stupid, I suppose, is the bit I like the most. Things like there's varying degrees of booking engines and search optimization. I mean, social media, we used to have Facebook, now we've got Twitter, now we've got Instagram. I love Instagram because it's pictorial, and there's nothing quite like a classical shot somewhere with a sunset, and you post it on Instagram and go straight to Facebook, and you can see straight away that 10 or 15 likes, and then suddenly it's 40 likes and 50 likes, whereas I could spend $1 million in advertising, and maybe the phones will or won't ring. So it's all, and those skills then have to be transferred to the team that are operating the visitor centre. So not just are you handing out a brochure, but you're also having to have social media skills and how to do that, in a business sense versus, well, I've just got out of bed and I'm feeling like, well, you know what, and I don't want to go to work today. That's not the issue we're talking about here. Book easy. How do we get as many motels and operators onto our booking engine? Yes, you're giving 10% commission away, but by jingies, once the night is gone, you've lost that revenue forever. So if it's cost you 10% off, if it's cost you $7 out of 70, wow, isn't that not a bad return on your investment? And by the way, by the time the customers rung us here, my team will have done such a good job they'll probably stay 3 nights. So what have you lost? So it's really understanding that we have to be up to date with technology, and who knows what's the next wave that's coming through tomorrow or the next day. Some other genius has invented another way to create, or another app to create something. Marella, do you want to?
So yeah, well, I guess a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that we do that people don't realise is, we're continually collating statistics. So as visitors walk in the door, it's not just about, even if they are just grabbing a brochure, we'll still engage with that customer to find out where they're from, grab their postcode. Then you've got, like as Greg mentioned, we do Book Easy, which is our online booking system. So, and it's not only just booking as a customer comes in, or, taking a booking over the phone or checking the online bookings that are coming in, but it's also engaging with our operators and getting them, at the moment we've only got about 3 or 4 gold operators, so it's, educating our operators, that if they go gold, it's a lot, not just quicker for us, but it's quicker for them, and and it's all that behind the scenes, when something goes wrong or when they've got a problem with a booking, so we're the ones that they ring to help them fix it. And then of course, when we're talking about events, they just don't happen. There's a lot of organisation that goes in, and not just organisation, but we go out there looking for sponsorship. And then the promotion side of it, we've got to get out there and make sure that we're advertising in the right forms of media. And then, as Greg also mentioned, now with Facebook, we've really, our likes have gone through the roof in the last 12 months. We're doing a lot more on Facebook and social media, and actually just recently we had a media for Mill through the Visitor Information Center, and out of that we got some really great stories. So again, that's things that you can't buy, and it's not just for visitors, but even for our local operators that were involved in those for meals, that it's publicity for them as well. So that's all helping. Not just they're some of the things that we do behind the scenes that a lot of people don't realise. So training and multi-skilling our staff here at the VIC is really important, as we're open 7 days a week. So we've got the casuals that work on the weekends. They're not always here. They might work once or twice a month. So we've really got to make sure we communicate everything to everyone, so that also, so when somebody does ring, that we know we're on the ball, not just, oh, you'll have to ring back next week when one of the full-timers are on. We really make a point of making sure everybody knows, everybody's up to speed with everything. And that's where our familiars are really important as well, which last year we started doing more regular familiars, and this year we'll do the same. We'll get out there and make sure everybody has seen all the motels in town, and especially if we've got new staff on board, making sure that they've seen our major, some of our sort of top attractions, that they've really experienced it for themselves, because there's nothing worse than asking someone about something that if they haven't really been there and experienced it themselves, well, they're not really going to be able to sell it well, So it's all about, again, experiencing things for ourselves and then being able to sell it and to the visitor. So upselling is certainly a huge strategy for success here at the Visitor Information Centre. It all comes down to engaging with the customer. So again, it's not just about handing out a brochure, it's really engaging with that customer and finding out what their interests are, and then telling them, well, actually, you'll enjoy, we've got these galleries that you might be interested in, or we've got these bird route tours that you might be interested in, or, if they're real wine and food connoisseurs, then, well, gosh, you can spend a week here, So, upselling is certainly something that and it's really satisfying as well when they've come in here and they're only intending on spending half a day, and they'll walk out of here saying, well, actually, while I'm here, can I book a night's accommodation, and it's really lovely as well when they, especially with a lot of caravanners and motorhomers that we have coming through, they'll be on their way to, WA or wherever, and they'll actually come back on their way back and tell us about their experiences along the way, and come in and just thank us again for the great time they've had, and the little things that we've told them about, not necessarily even here in Griffith, but along the way, in the whole region.
How we go about training with our staff so they can upsell is by having regular updates with our own team. I think it's also part of the dynamics that happens in our office. All our doors are open. I might be doing something, but I'm always listening, so I'm learning too. And I know our team are interacting and bouncing off each other. I think that team spirit comes into play. We write each other notes, and then we have after hours once a month session where we'll just go through and just discuss certain things that are coming up. If there's a major event, I know Morella's very good at putting some detailed notes together, so there's a bit of a cheat sheet along those lines. Further training we do, of course, is I'm very big on, because I really am passionate about social media, but working it so it works for you is trying to encourage the team where they can, and I'm prepared to pay for it. When I say council, for training, social media training, and also I get a lot of enjoyment out of going to the local government Shires tourism conference, because it's put on for us, run by our people. So, and what we've done is last year I took Morella and Paige, who's our marketing officer, up. I'm trying to rotate so I can take everyone up there, so that everyone gets a fair opportunity. Because there's nothing nicer, I think, than sitting around and listening to how others have done things. Half the time the problems we may have is what they have, so we don't think, oh, that problem wasn't that great in any case. But you can also learn from ideas. I'm not smart enough or young enough to try and reinvent the wheel, but I'm happy to pinch an idea from someone else and just tweak it slightly so we can come up with our own version of whatever. So I think that's also very important to me, is that we do get out and about, and we live the product internally, but we need to be out and about so we can experience what's going on at a first-hand level. And if someone in our team has a particular panache for something, I'm happy to put money behind that and say, okay, well, you want to do this, you become the expert, and then you become the trainer, and we go through from there. Morella! Morella is the wow of Griffith. Buongiorno, ciao bella. It is the team that is the wow for Griffith. Hey, come on. Get with the program, girl.
Well, our team is, we do have a pretty wow team. But do you mean...
dickhead boss.
I didn't say that. So the wow I believe at the Griffith VIC is one of the things that we do is we colour code our map to our attractions. So we have an attraction guide and we have our town map, and we will, again, it's engaging with the customer and it's colour coding, going through each of the attractions. It may not be all of the attraction because, again, it depends on what they're interested in doing, or, you know. So, but yeah, colour coding that map with the attractions, it's amazing how many visitors say, wow, I've never seen that before. And something so simple, but yet so effective. You know, and they'll say, oh, gee, I wish other visitor centres would do that, you know, and we're like, well, we're actually quite proud that, you know, it's hard to believe that other visitor centres don't do that, because it's always been a part. Like I said, I've been here 11 years and that's how I was taught how to do it from day one, you know, and yeah, so that's certainly a wow. And our itinerary, putting together our itineraries for our coach groups that come to town, you know, a lot of the tour operators, a lot of the feedback we get is just, you know, wow, you know, we've been travelling around Australia all these years with this, you know, bus company, and we haven't come across a visitor centre that will do the whole itinerary for us from start to finish, book it all in, and, you know, they get here and it's pretty much all done for them. And again, we include our colour coded maps for them, you know, because the GPSs, that might, especially in smaller towns, it could take them to Timbuktu before it actually takes them to where they need to go. So, you know, we really engage. It's all about engaging with the visitor, and those few things that we do, and as well as the passion that we have. I think we're pretty much all locals, and we really have a passion for Griffith, and, you know, it comes out when we're speaking about it. You know, when we're speaking about our town, I think that passion really comes out.
From my point of view, I think the wow factor for me as a manager and for the visitor is my team. I'm very lucky, and I don't care how good you are. It always comes back to a team effort, and the more on the page all the team are, and also willingly wanting to be there, is the secret of success. You know, passionate people exude fun and enjoyment, and really do get across that they do care about what you want. And I know the number of times my team have gone the extra mile to find someone accommodation. Well, we even have backpackers. You know, we're a huge agricultural area. We have a lot of backpackers coming into town, and I've gone out and picked up a backpacker, picked up his luggage. I know the girls here actually found a backpacker a job, and when one was stranded, we actually found this person a way home. So it's just going that extra mile that makes a difference, and it comes across that you're doing this not because you're paid to do it, it's because you really want to do it. So I give full marks to my team. That's my wow factor. They're the ones that I know when I go off at a tangent about all these crazy ideas I might come up with, that the team here will deliver the better part of it and make my job just that much easier, and will develop a good outcome for our city. And that's important, because you're right. I mean, I have a 12-year-old and a 15-year-old, and they are totally different to when I was a boy. You know, yes, they play well and they love climbing trees, and we've been just recently swimming in dams and surfing and doing all those wonderful things. But I tell you what, you know, they still go back to their phone. But, you know, the thing they do is they don't. It's just not mindless surfing the net as we might have done in our day, because it was such brand new. They're talking to people. They're Snapchatting, or they're Instagramming. So, you know, they all of a sudden the experience here, or that wonderful citrus sculpture shot, can be through to 10 million people, could be internationally. So we really have to embrace that technology and understand that the kids coming through will be are the future for this country, and we have to. That's why I said it earlier in the interview. We need to understand that change is coming and not be fearful of change. It always reminds me of when in the club industry, you know, when New South Wales had all the gambling, and then of course Victoria came on board. Well, what were the clubs doing 3 years leading up to that? Did they think that the coaches were still going to come? Of course they were going to change. I mean, why would they want to come all the way up to here when they could go down to someone in Victoria? So you've got to think about those things and think, how do we embrace that change, not to knock us down, but to further embellish ourselves. Because there's an awful lot of locals who probably never step foot in a visitor information, have no idea what why council's funding this sort of wonderful building at ratepayers' expense, but until they come in and think, oh wow, I can buy this, I can get that, and I see all these people coming in here satisfied. That's the secret of success. And again, it's always back to it's everyone understanding what we're on about and communicating that opportunity. Oh yeah, the citrus culture is huge. 100,000 oranges. It's a big event.
They juice them. They take them back.
Yeah. So it's all recycled,
Yep.
all recycled, not lost. It's coated with a bit of wax. That's a special wax, so because they're outside, then they get
Special rubber
juiced
bands. They're UV treated rubber bands, so they last for 2 weeks. That's how they're.
And that's there's some of the there's a basket. There's a coach and we have a grand piano. We've had a robot with eyes that lit up. I mean, scared the bejesus out of most of us.
We had 65 this year. Last year, 2014. 65 sculptures.
It's a wonderful community event, isn't it? Everyone comes together, has a good time. And then during the 2 weeks, of course, it's also the maintenance, because there's always a few people who want to go and touch it, and of course, as soon as you touch something, something falls off. So we have a band of merry volunteers that are on a roster system, and they come around and replenish and refurbish. And these are all the little behind-the-scenes stuff that the visitor centre do that the average Joe Blow would have no idea. Thinking it's just about handing out brochures. Well, it's that little extra degree that goes to put this city on the map.
And it's a great way of getting them in here as well, because in the lead up to it, like the applications come through here, and then they come in here to collect their rubber bands, and they come in here to collect their rosters, and and they know where the point of contact. So it's another way of engaging with our local community, showing them that hello, we're here, and this is what we're doing.
And events like that don't just happen, as we all know. It happens because this becomes the powerhouse. I mean, 3 months beforehand, this place is manic. It slowly starts to build, but then getting closer to that, it's just absolutely manic with and then the team here also have to contend with visitors who are coming in just wanting to have a look around, who are passing through, inquiries for accommodation over that 2 week period. So it's a real, this place is really vibrant.